Welcome back to another exciting episode of Nailed It Motherhood podcast. I am your host with the most, Tamara Eldridge. You're tuned into season 3 of Nailed It Motherhood, and this is the place where we may not have it all figured out. Trust me, we do not. But we've got the stories, we've got the bumps and the breakthroughs, and plenty of laughter to remind you that none of us are doing this alone. Baby, around here, we're real parents just trying to live, learn, and ride out every joy and jolt that comes with raising kids. And I promise you, our next guest and I have the same age children. So we're going through some things, some stories we have to tell. But because we believe in growth, reflection, and pouring back into yourself, we want to remind you that we do have the This Mama is Nailing It self-care journal for parents designed to help you stay grounded, intentional, and whole along the way because we need to take care of ourselves. But that is the logistics of the show. And we are going to move on to the reason that we are all tuned in today. Today, we're joined by a gem in advocacy who also happens to be a boss in the children's book world. This single mom has been through some stuff, and today she wants to share her story of resilience and purpose to other moms who may feel like the road is rough. Listeners, let's please give a warm welcome to the fierce and the fearless Jules Bendy to Nailed It Motherhood podcast. Hi, Jules.
Hi, Tamara. Thank you so much for having me. I am truly honored to be here. I love what you're creating, a space where moms can breathe, be honest, and feel seen, because that doesn't always happen with motherhood. And I'm really excited to share my heart and my story and hopefully give a little hope to anyone walking through a challenging season, which we all do.
Thank you so much for just sharing that. You said it's so real. This is a place where we can breathe and we can be honest. And I love that for us. I'm so glad that I've had the opportunity to meet with so many amazing parents like yourself. And I do have to say that I'm very excited to get to know your story, not because of what you went through, but because of your resilience, what you came out with after you've gone through your storm. You've contributed so much. I have to say, when we share what you've written, oh my gosh, this book that you have written is it. Okay. So I'm very excited to hear what you have to say to us. I'm excited that you're here to share your parenting journey. You have a 6-year-old daughter. I'm sure we have a lot in common. And your life was not made of roses. So we love stories like that. We love stories that, I went through the fire, but I came out and you can't even tell. I am unburned. Okay. I'm unburned. I came out, So before we get into your story, I do have to share my episodic Tavi tale, which, this is, I think, why listeners come and listen to me because they love my baby girl. And so today I want to share a quick story about her Christmas list. We are recording in November, but we are releasing after the year. I still feel like this story will be relevant no matter when I listen to it because my child is just so clever. She is so observant and picks up on all the little quirks and all the little the I can talk, Jules, I promise. She picks up on all the cool things and the things that all the kids are into that I'm just like, where did you learn this from? So the other day I asked her, what is something that you really want for Christmas? Because I'm really trying to focus on, we're not doing a lot for this year. So tell me something you really, really want because we'll try to get that for you, but we're really going to focus on giving back to other people. You don't need a lot. So she was like, I really want a 3D printer. And I was like, what? This was the very first time that I have ever even heard her mention a 3D printer. And I was like, what do you know about a 3D printer? And she says, well, I want it so that I can print dragons. That was another surprise to me because what? when do you like dragons? Like all of these new things that I'm learning in this one conversation. And I said to her, 3D printers are kind of expensive. And I asked her, where did you learn about 3D printers? In my brain. But do you guys like have a 3D printer in school? No. My friend, and I won't say the friend's name, my friend has one and he printed a dragon. So this is the thing now. And she really wants a 3D printer. And I don't know if you know how much they cost, but that is something that she will not be getting because I'm done with her shopping list, to be quite honest with you. So I did look into getting a 3D pen, and I should be quiet so she can't hear me. But I did look into getting her a 3D pen where she can print out a dragon. I'm just so in awe that this is something that she wants. But hey, we have to train up a child in the way they should go, not the way we want them to go. So thank you so much for listening to my Tavi tale. I learn something new about her every single day. And I'm so happy that you allowed me to share with you my baby. But now that we have gone and listened about my beautiful baby, I want to bring the attention back to you, Jules, because you have so much to share. And I want to give the floor to you. But before we do that, I do want our listeners to know who you are. And then you're going to tell us a little bit more about your journey. So I will read your bio. And then once I do that, I'm going to disappear backstage and let the spotlight shine on you, entrepreneur. So, listeners, here's a little bit about Jules. Jules Bendy is an entrepreneur and founder of EQ Kid Books. And if you don't know what that means, that's for emotional intelligence, a movement helping families build emotional intelligence through storytelling, music, and play. She's also known for speaking out against Harvey Weinstein before #MeToo. Y'all know she has power. Today, Jules focuses on empowering others through resilience and emotional awareness as she launches Ignite Wonder, a new venture blending music, mindfulness, and family joy. So, listeners, if you have to grab a notebook, please do so. Pause the podcast and get your notebook ready so that you can write all of the gems that Jules has to drop. But, listeners, I give the mic to Jules.
Thank you so much. Wow. Well,
You're welcome.
my journey into motherhood, for one, and entrepreneurship definitely didn't unfold in a straight line. I built a company with my partner. We worked side by side for years and then lost it in what I felt was like a single night. Without my knowledge, he filed for bankruptcy and shut off my email and completely blindsided me. And this is someone I was in partnership for almost 7 years. Overnight, the company I poured my soul into, I grew it to over $20 million worth of sales under 3 years. More than half of my own, like $500,000, and more than $500,000 I personally invested was gone. I didn't feel like a business loss. It felt like the ground disappeared underneath my entire life. And at the same time, I was a mom. I was a mom trying to navigate heartbreak, betrayal, survival, while still having to show up with love and presence for the one person that mattered most is my daughter. Then came another blow. After the company ended up shutting down, I was completely devastated, not knowing what I was going to do. And one morning I woke up at 4:00 in the morning and I said, I'm going to write emotional intelligence children's books. And the number one book I started, the first one, was called My Body, My Rules. And like you mentioned, I was one of the first girls to come out publicly about Harvey Weinstein after the New York Times article came out. And also when I was a child, I was 4 years old and watched my sister get molested in front of me. And she was 6. And it was by our next door neighbor. And I was the one that spoke up. I spoke up for her and also myself. My mom always taught me that our body is ours. And as we know, I'm going to say essay. We usually say essay on social media. We don't want to get ghosted or anything. But essay happens all the time to children. And so I was like, what would be the one book that I would want to start? And of course, it was My Body, My Rules. Then while I was writing books, then another blow came in to my life. It was a court levy for debt that wasn't even mine. It wiped out my bank account and left me with a negative $652,000. I had to prove I didn't own the debt while having absolutely nothing left. I was a single mom standing in the middle of a financial and emotional devastation. But somewhere in the darkness, a spark came alive inside of me. And I remember looking at my daughter and thinking, you cannot collapse. She needs to see you rise and needs to see what strength really looks like. So I kept writing books. I kept writing books to the point where I'm at over 13 books now. And I'm going to be launching another 6 books next year. And also with the e-bike company that ended up closing down, and with pretty much no money in my account until I could prove that that money was mine, and the levy was put on the wrong account. I took the little money I had and I physically left I physically had left and bought spare e-bike parts and started fixing bikes around Austin, Texas for people who depended on them for their only transportation. So I'm literally fixing e-bikes, doing mechanical work. And it was an act of service, but it was also a reminder of who I am. Someone who doesn't abandon people, someone who gets back up. And that led me back into the bankruptcy court where I fought, literally, to buy back the rights to the company that was taken. I ended up bidding against a company who would not divulge who they are, which I have ideas of who it was. And they ended up dropping out because they had to divulge who they were into the courts. And then I was bidding against another company, the factory that was making our bikes. And I ended up winning and bidding higher than all the other companies. And I ended up relaunching the e-bike company. I ended up obtaining the rights back and relaunched the company. And I can tell you, for the last year and a half, just building it back and doing the whole thing like the I love you, please forgive me, thank you. And just going through all of that with my customers all over again and trying to make things right. But in the midst of all of that, I was still building my company with EQ Kid Books. In the middle of all the chaos, it's just something unexpected happened. It was like all that pain, all that rebuilding, and all that healing, it opened up a new purpose inside of me. And then I was like, who's going to publish my books? So that's when I decided to open up my own publishing company called EQ Kid Books. And that was birthing my second child. It's like every night my daughter and I would talk about our feelings, real emotions and check-ins. We talked about what color our feelings were and, like where we felt them in our bodies, like what our hearts were trying to tell us. And those conversations slowly became stories, and those stories became books. And those books have now grown into a movement to help families build emotional intelligence through storytelling, music, and connection. And today, everything I create, like the books and the events and the workshops and the Ignite Wonder theme park I would eventually want to create here in Austin, Texas, it's about emotional safety. It's about connection. It's about giving families the tools I wish I had during the hardest parts of my life. And now where I'm at, I'm here in Austin still. I have the company back, the e-bike company. I have the EQ Kid Books, and I just keep writing and pouring out my heart to all these books. And I'm super excited to say that by next year, these 6 other books are going to be launched. It's Welcome to Harmony Hills. It's about a father or a father who's no longer in the child's life. He could be, in prison. He could have died. He's disappeared, or it could just been a divorce. And that's up to the reader. And I allow that to be up to the reader. So I do not puts ideas in the reader's minds, but I allow the children to have their own interpretation of the stories. I have Dracula Finds a Home about this cute little dog with bat wings, and he's looks different from everyone else. And it teaches children about how to have empathy and, kindness, and, bring in dogs that may be on the street. It's just like when we were young kids. I don't know if you brought home any animals, but I brought home everything. I mean, we had guinea pigs, rabbits, literally everything. Then we have Manifest the Best Day Ever. We have My Heart of Emotions. I have The Breathing Rock. I have Stranger Danger. I mean, I can keep going on and on. And so I'm super excited to say that EQ Kid Books, I also made it into a nonprofit organization. So anytime someone buys a book, they have a tax write-off. And we also donate a book to children in need, to foster care programs, to children trafficking locations. I have books that were donated in Nepal. We have women abuse centers. We have underprivileged children that are low income. All get those books as well. That's the quick story.
I don't know where to start, but to say, wow, you have gone through so much in really a short amount of time, as far as the business goes. But even before that, as you said, you were advocating for your sister when you were 4. You've gone through so much, but so much has come out of you because you withstood the storm. And I will say thank you for that, because just listening to these next 6 books that are going to be coming out next year, or rather, it will be this year once we release, um, these are amazing topics, just amazing subjects that we need our children to understand. And I support that, and I definitely will be purchasing once you release. So please make sure we stay in touch so that I can grab those books when they are launched. You're doing amazing work. And as a parent who has to be like very real talk with their child, I can appreciate these books that you are creating, because it makes it easier for parents to be able to talk to their kids about things that they need to know about, even though a lot of times we assume they're young, they don't need to know about these things. It makes it easier. It is an open door for us to have these conversations. So I want to go to the conversations that you've had with your daughter. That's beautiful that you even do check-ins with her. Can you tell me, when did this start? And can you walk me through a night with you talking to your daughter and checking in and just being able to share your feelings with each other?
Oh, such a great question. Every single night since she was born, I always end her night with a story about her day. I say, once upon a time, there was a beautiful little girl named Sage, and she
Oh,
lived at, I say my address, our address. And I say, and she can call her mom whenever she wants at, and then I say my phone number. So she's memorized my phone number and our address since she was 2 years old. And so it's
yeah.
like she's always known it inside of her. And I say, we woke up really early in the morning and I walk through everything of what we've done. And then I also talk about her big feelings. I'm like, Seiji had some big feelings. And now that she's 6, as you know, as a 6-year-old, they're like, no, that's not how I felt. I'm like, oh, would you like to add in the story and tell me how you felt? And she's like, yeah. And she'll now take over the story. And what also, I don't know about you, but sometimes it's really difficult getting some information of her children of what happens at school. But now, because
Hmm.
the story of her day is not complete, she tells me the story of her day at school. And that brings up topics about a child, that hurt her feelings, or, someone says something mean to her. I'm like, oh, where did you feel that in your body when that happened? She's like, I felt in my heart, in my tummy. I'm like, oh, okay. So what feeling can you attach to that? She's like, oh, my heart felt lonely. My tummy felt like sad. I was like, okay, do you want to breathe into that and feel where that feeling is coming from? And so we have a thing called the breathing rock. and we put the breathing rock. This is one of the books we wrote about. We put the breathing rock on our tummy and we take it like, breathe the rock in. And we watch the rock come all the way up and then out. We watch it go all the way out and we hold. And she loves that. And she actually supports other children when they have emotional dysregulation at school with breathing and pulls them aside. And it's such a beautiful thing, but that's how we go over our whole night. And then we always end. And she lived happily ever after. The end.
That is so beautiful. I just like that is amazing. Where did you learn this? Were you doing these things in therapy or counseling, or did you do your own research, or did you just wake up one day and say, I want to do this with my child. I'm going to try it. Like, I've heard of parents talking and having conversations with their kids, but to be so consistent, to do this every single night before bed, but then to be teaching all of these key culture things like phone number and address in storytelling is genius. Like it
Thank
really
you.
is genius. Where did you discover these techniques?
What's very interesting is I wish I can quote every single book that I've ever read. I was a readaholic since I was 23. And my mom actually gave me the bright idea. Like, maybe you should tell Sage a story about her day. I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant. And so I just kept doing it over and over and over again. And our day is not complete until that happens. And in regards to the phone number and the address, I just did that just instinctively, where I'm like, okay, like I want to make sure if anything ever happens, she will always know how to get a hold of me, how to go home, how to speak to a man in the uniform or a woman in the uniform if she's lost or scared or was able to contact me, because she's a wanderer. She is a fierce child, strong-willed child. Yes. And
Yes.
yeah, and so I just wanted to make sure because I'm far from a helicopter mom.
Um, I'm just in awe. Like this is amazing. And I'm just like gleaning because yes, my child is a fierce little girl. She is fierce. And it reminds me of a day when I was at work and it was like the end of the day. And I get an email from her teacher. And she was like, well, I just want to let you know Tavia was on the playground this morning instead of coming into school. And I'm in like alert mode. First of all, why are you waiting until 1 o'clock to email me? Secondly, how did this happen? And I got mad at the before school care drop off and reached out to them. And then they're like, we can only do so much. Like it's like a school bus. We drop them off and then they go into the school. Then I get mad at the school. Like, why were you not watching her? Come to find out, my child planned it. She gets off the van. She goes to the door as if she's going in and waits for the van to leave to then go back out to play at the playground. Oh,
Where
I went off.
where did she learn that one?
I don't know. I don't know. But she was frustrated with me because I wasn't allowing her to play at the playground because there were some behavior things that week. So I had to stand my ground. Like there has to be a consequence. Your behavior isn't lining up to what we need it to be. And I'm taking away the playground from you. So she was upset. And so she decided that she was going to get her playground time no matter how she was going to get it. But yeah, when we talk about fierce and the wanderer, we had to sit down and we had to do that real talk conversation with her. Like, this is what could have happened
Yeah.
had somebody seen you. You are the exact characteristic someone is looking for. The happy-go-lucky little girl who just wants to play and have fun and wants to talk to everyone. They're looking for that. So we had to like, some people are like, that's too much. No, you have to be real. You have to explain those things to your child. But thank you for sharing. I'm not alone in the fierce wandering child.
You're not alone. And what's funny is the consequences talk that you just said is I actually have Sage tell me the consequences. I let her choose into it. I say, give me two options and two consequences that you feel is appropriate for this behavior. And she actually tells me, sometimes she says, She actually said that I can't play with my friends for 10 days. I was like, do you
Oh,
feel that's
man.
a fair consequence? And she said, yes, I do. I'm like, okay, we'll do the 10 days and we'll start counting. And she does it. And then she asks me, Mommy, how many days has it been? And she sticks with it. And we still do our quality time. We go out and we have fun. She does her chores and everything, but she makes the consequences. So it's not me punishing her. It's her giving her own self the punishments and she serves them.
I like that. So I've always learned that you give them choice, but I've always given her the choices. And I've heard on another podcast, give them choices that benefit you. But whenever I do talk to Tavia and I make her think about her behavior, she usually chooses what I would have chosen anyway. So I like that. Give her the consequence, that give her the option to create the consequence and then follow through with that. I like that. One of the things we did at the beginning of the school year was create expectations and norms for school nights.
Mm.
And I wrote it down, but she told me no TV. Well, that was where I started. We're not going to do screens at all on school nights. And what else? I have to do my homework and I have to eat my dinner and I have to go to the bathroom before bed. And so we came up with these expectations. There were probably 6 or 7 of them and we hung them up. And the first couple weeks, it was a little trying, but we reminded her those are the expectations. And now she's like, Mom, is it a school night? Okay, I have homework. And is it a not do I have school tomorrow? Oh, so I can watch a little bit of TV. So yes, I love that. Giving them agency and efficacy to hold their own agenda and follow through. I love it. I love that. So I do have a question for you, because you told me at the age of 4 you stood up for something that you saw and you knew wasn't right. And you are now building the emotional intelligence of your own child. Do you feel like you had that when you were 4? Did you have that model where your mom and your dad or whoever raised you, they gave you that structure where you were able to express yourself? Or is that something that you kind of had to explore on your own?
That's a yes and no question.
Hmm.
Yes, my mother was head of human resources department at Kaiser Permanente in the Bay Area. And so it was all about sexual harassment and, anything that HR handles, my mom was a
Hmm.
master at. And my dad was the opposite. My dad was an alcoholic, physically, mentally, verbally abusive to myself personally. I didn't know if he was going to come home, hit me, or hug me. And that was just the way I lived. And I thought it was normal. I thought it was okay. But so I didn't feel like my body belonged to me. I felt it belonged to my family. And I also knew that what was happening, because my mom did teach me that nobody can touch my body, only me. And that was something that we just learned over and over again. Uh, I'm not going to go obviously into my mother's past, the ancestral trauma of my mom and my grandmother, my grandma's grandma, and all those type of things that that's in our cells, it's in our vibration, it's in our ancestral blood. What happens to all of us, and it keeps
Hmm.
cycles over and over and over again. And our parents teach us what to do and what to say to support to breaking that generational trauma. And unfortunately, it didn't break with myself. And so with me, yes, it was taught, but no, it wasn't. It started stemming from me learning about my own autonomy, my own emotional well-being, about manifestation, about me creating my own boundaries and my own autonomy. And what did that look like? It didn't
Hmm.
happen very fast. It happened over a long time, because things don't happen to you, things happen for you. Once you move out of the victim mentality, then you can become victimized. After you are a victimized person, you can turn into a survivor. Once you turn into survivor, you turn pain into purpose and become a thriver. And it all depends of if you're jumping or bypassing. Are you victim and then moving to a thriver and bypassing and keeping that inside in your bloodstream and passing it to your child? and your children's? Or are you really going through it and taking emotional intelligence and really supporting and really going to the roots? It's like an onion, right? You start peeling away the onion, you're going to cry at the first peel, but then you can go layers and layers and layers. And have you ever cut through an onion that's been sitting around for a while? There's a little tiny root that's growing inside of the onion. So if you're peeling the onion, you have to keep going until you get to that root and take out that root.
Mm-hmm.
And so how many times are you going to allow yourself to feel and to be upset and to cry and to be just like, oh my God, how many more damn layers are there? But then when you get to that root, you feel this, and then you could start writing about it. Because the worst thing you can possibly do, in my experience, is writing from open wounds and not from scars.
Yeah. 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 Scars that have scabbed over and start to regenerate new skin. I love that. I love that. I have never heard the trauma cycle described like that. Now, mind you, I'm a goofball. So when you start talking about layers on onions, I was thinking about donkey. But it was so clear. It was visually right in front of me. How you talked about going from victim to victimize to surviving to thriving, just that process. And while you were talking, I saw areas where I was never physically abused. There was one try, and I ended that quickly and made sure they knew don't come back to me. But there was a lot of emotional abuse that I did not recognize until I got out of it.
Mhm.
And I think that, people don't realize that emotional abuse sometimes can leave a deeper scar, especially when you don't recognize it. But I saw so much of the trauma that I kept going through, not necessarily the abuse, just trauma in general. And so much of me crying, why God? Why am I going through this? And feeling like the victim, to the point where now that I'm out of that dark place, I can look back and say, this is why, right? And now I can see people that I'm close to who are just so confused as to why their life has been turned upside down and things keep getting piled on them over and over and over again. And they don't understand, but I can say, this is why. Keep pushing, blah, blah, blah. I'm just seeking a little bit of clarity on the difference between the victim stage and the victimized stage. Can you explain that for me?
100%. I'm going to talk to you as a victim right now. Okay. Oh my God, I was robbed. Someone came into my house, broke into my house, stole all my jewelry, took everything, trashed my whole entire house. I can't believe this happened. It was just like, this was like 2 months ago, and it still happened. Like, I just don't know so that's a victim
Mm-hmm.
versus victimized. 2 months ago, someone broke into my house, took my jewelry. Took me a long time to get, over a lot of it. I had to report it. I'm still doing the police reports. But they took it, like all my stuff. Do you see the difference between that?
Yeah. So
Your
there's a mindset.
mindset. It's still happening to them. Victims, it's still happening to them. And when I'm going to say this, which might trigger some emotional dysregulation for some people listening, but it's when you talk, if you were essayed or if you were hurt by somebody physically, and you're talking about that story, and you're not talking about it in a way that's empowerment, you're allowing them to do it to you over and over and over and over and over again. They're still touching, you're still allowing them to touch you, versus telling the story in a more empowering state of looking out and looking in. You're still allowing that to happen in a sense because you're still victimized and you haven't moved into to survivor yet. And even in survivor mode, you're still talking about it in an emotional way because you're supporting and you're still talking about it. But how are you moving that into purpose?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
it makes perfect sense. Um,
Do you want to play? Oh, excuse me. Do you want to play a game with me?
sure, let's play a game.
I want you to tell me a story and I want you to convince me that you're a victim. I think this game will be a beautiful way and explanation to even for your friends and people that are watching this to play with their family and friends.
Okay, now I try not to be a victim, so this might be tough. Hold on.
Give me your most victim-y story that you know.
um, okay, I'm trying. Tavia just won't listen to me. She won't listen to me no matter how much I talk to her. She refuses to hear anything that I have to say. I know what I'm trying to help her, and I don't understand what is wrong with her. I don't know. That's all I got, Jules.
Okay. Okay, now I want you to tell me the same story and take full accountability and responsibility for that
Okay.
story.
Okay. So Tavia struggles listening to me at times, and I have to recognize that sometimes I say things harshly, and I believe that she shuts down, and I have to find ways that can work for both of us, where she can hear what I'm saying and I can accomplish what it is from her that I need for her to accomplish. But right now, we're still struggling through it.
How did that one feel compared to the other one?
Um, I had an action for me to try to make things work. So I understood that I felt like something wasn't working for us. But what can I do now to change the outcome?
Yeah, and it's you understand her. You're her mother. And so it's like we get to take responsibility that if we're doing something the same thing over and over and over again, we're expecting the same results.
Okay.
Thank you, Einstein, right? It's insanity. And we get to
Right.
play with that. And it's like we expect to have things being done by a 6-year-old. Do the same thing. I'm like, ah, and I have to realize she's only been here for 6 years.
Right.
I'm like,
Still very
oh
much
my
learning.
God, she's still a little. Oh, and I just have to look at her like that. And because we don't see them as that. You know,
Yeah.
we see them every day and we forget how little they are. They still can't feed themselves all the way unless they go under get a little snack pack and open it up. So it's like we get to like take that and be like, wow, ooh, okay. Like with me, when I have breakdowns with Sage, which happens, I straight say I take full accountability and responsibility for that breakdown. You can count on me moving forward to do X, Y, Z. And she also now takes accountability and responsibility for things that she does all the time because
Right.
I do it. And it's a
Yeah.
mirroring. But yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. So that's victim and that's victimized. And then that's from removing yourself. And that's actually a great exercise of how to learn forgiveness.
I love it. I love that. Thank you. I appreciate that. And with that being said, I mean, you shared so much, but we're running out of time. And I'm
Ooh.
sad that we're running out of time. But I think that even that example, which I did not mean to do, was a perfect wrap up to just the emotional intelligence of you as a parent and your child, as a 6-year-old child who is teaching emotional intelligence to her peers at school. Who does that? This
Mara,
is amazing.
not only that, if you go to my Instagram, just my name, Jules Bindi, she's has almost a million. She has like, I think over 1 million views now on one video that she did calling me forward and stopping me in the kitchen and just saying, Mom, can you come here for a moment? And I didn't know she was recording and people are crying about it. And it's so beautiful how she's already teaching the world.
Oh, that's awesome. This is awesome. Thank you so much for coming and sharing. We're not done yet, but I have to say thank you now. I'll say it again because I usually do. But this was such an amazing conversation. I cannot wait until these books are launched because, like I said, not only do I need it as a parent, but my office needs these books. We have a video called Know Your Rights, and it's a student protections video where we're trying to help our students understand that they have rights pertaining to Title VI and Title IX, because that's what comes out of my office. But I want other resources. We need parents to put a brave face on and have these conversations with their kids so that they know good touch, bad touch, so that they know the names of their parts, their body parts, so that they understand. You said something so powerful, that you didn't think that your body was yours. You thought it belonged to your family. Wow. Like, even at the age of 1 and 2, that is your body. And so we need them to understand what is allowed and what's not. If it feels good and if it doesn't feel good, and what do I do if it doesn't feel good? And I appreciate what you are contributing to this world. So thank you for joining us and sharing your story. It's such a powerful story. So I appreciate that. We do want to move on to tea time so that we can know a little bit more about Jules. So tea time is a game of rapid fire. We have 3 minutes on the clock for Jules to play and give us a little bit more insight into who she is. Some of these questions are deep and some of them are just for fun, but Jules will give us a little bit more of Jules. So Jules, are you ready to play?
Yes.
Awesome. Listeners, I hope you are all ready. We've had a fantastic time thus far. Now we get to know a little bit more. So I will put 3 minutes on the clock, and the first question will be morning person or night owl?
Oh, morning person, 100%.
100%. No questions asked. What is the last TV show or movie you binge watched?
Oh God, I don't know. I don't remember. Wicked was the last movie I watched, and I don't watch TV.
That's fair. Name your life's Broadway play.
Oh wow. Oh my gosh, I would say I don't know why I was thinking Book of Mormon, but it's not even true.
Anything else? Sound of Music? I don't know.
The Phantom of
Or
the
you could make it
Opera.
up.
How about
Oh,
that
I like.
one?
I like. If you could give your younger self advice, what would it be?
Don't give up, stay strong. Just everything is happening for you. Just keep going. Just if you fall down, get back up. It just failure is just going to keep springing you. Just there's no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as failure.
Absolutely. What's the worst piece of advice you ever received?
Oh God. Oh, I had a terrible joke. Stay with him.
I've heard that a lot. What smell instantly makes you happy?
Oh, my boyfriend. I love his smell.
Yes, it instantly makes you happy.
And
What's the best gift you ever received?
oh wow. Um, Going to ALA, Ascension Leadership Academy, for the emotional intelligence workshop that I did in 2021.
Nice. What season of your life are you in right now, and what is it teaching you?
The Phoenix Rising is everything again. I'm going to go again at this. Everything's happening for you, not to you. It's just every single thing is like you're climbing a mountain. If you're going to go to Mount Everest, you get to have those hard days. You get to have those hard workouts. And you got to thank your trainer. Say, thank you, trainer, for this hard day, because I'm going to go climb the highest mountain ever. And I know whatever I'm going to do is going to get me there. So keep giving me these hard training days because it's going to help me get there faster.
Yes. What is your hidden talent?
Oh, I speak a lot of languages. I speak about 12 languages. I can have conversation with a lot of people in different languages.
12. Name
Mama.
one book, podcast. I'm loving this. Okay, this is the last question. Name one book, podcast, or resource that's changed your perspective.
How I Built This. It's a great podcast about entrepreneurs of how they built their businesses.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for playing. These answers were fantastic. 12 languages, Jules.
Yeah. And the one that's
With
actually the most funny is the Farsi. I know a lot of Farsi. So,
That's awesome.
well,
Well,
my
that was
mom
my
was
next question.
HR. My mom was
Oh,
HR.
yes.
So it was, I was I was open to dating all races, you can just say. All races and
Literally,
nations and
all of
countries.
them. Whatever
Crazy.
country. Doesn't matter. I can speak it.
Pretty much, yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love that. At this time, Jules, I want to give you the mic back, and I would love for you to share any words of encouragement or inspiration that you have for our listeners, whether they be a mom, whether they be a dad, or just a part of the village of raising kids.
Hmm. I want everyone, like every mom listening, you're doing better than you think. You're holding more than anyone sees. You are loving, protecting, and teaching and healing and creating stability, even on the days that you feel like you're barely pulling it together. Because take it from me, for sure. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be present all the time. And the one thing you just really get to do is make sure that you are just present with your children. Get off your phone, get off on social media, and just be there. Just be there because they just really need that. So, to every mom out there and to myself, this mama is nailing it.
You're jumping the gun. But that was so on brand, so I'm leaving it right where it is. That's point blank and period. She's nailing it, okay? Before we go into my outro, do you want to share how people can connect with you and what is next for you?
Yeah, so right now, it's like right now, I'm really excited about the launch of the Harmony Hills collection, like I told you through the EQ Kid Books. Helping, families navigate their hard feelings and boundaries and friendships. And so if people want to connect with me, they can go to eqkidbooks.com to buy the books. And you can connect with me on social media at Jules Bindi. That's JulsBindi, especially if you want to see that cute video of Sage. Yeah, and I just I'm launching my books and just keep going with the emotional intelligence practices and learnings, and hopefully just impact one family at a time.
I love it. So I will have all ways to connect to Jules in the description below. So please make sure you check her out. Make sure you purchase her books. Don't just look at the link. Actually pay for the books, because we're not cheating. We're not asking somebody else to buy it and we can borrow it. You're going to buy your own and have it in your library for all the kids that come through your family. With that being said, Jules, you said it once. I'm going to ask these questions again because I want to hear it one more time. But is parenting hard?
Well, parenting isn't just hard, my dear. It's waves. Some days feels effortless and filled with flow. Other days can stretch you in ways you didn't even know that you could even stretch. And
Yes.
the moment you think, okay, I got this, your child grows, their needs change, their emotional world expands, and suddenly you're learning them all over again. Parenting
Yes.
evolves. It keeps inviting us to grow with our children. So yes, sometimes it's hard. It's easy. Sometimes it's magical. Sometimes it's overwhelming. And parenting
That
is
part.
the full human experience.
It sure is.
Yeah, wrapped in this tiny little human who looks like you.
Like exactly like me. Like she stole my face.
Yeah. And waves don't mean that you're failing. They mean that
You
you're
are so
growing.
right.
That means that you're
You are
growing.
so on brand, Jules. I love it. I love it. But is she still standing?
God. Yes, she's still standing. My daughter is absolutely still standing. She's walked through so many changes, so many uncertainties, moments that she have never even experienced, like she shouldn't probably experience it so young, and she's still standing with the brightest little spirit. And what amazes me is that children feel everything we feel, but they also
Yeah.
rise. They rise in a way that inspire us to rise. So she taught me resilience. She's taught me grace. She has shown me what strengths look like through her like little child's heart. Even when the world flips upside down, even when I was rebuilding
Mhm.
from the ground up, she was right there, still loving, still laughing, and still believing in magic. She's not just standing,
Yeah.
she's shining.
I love that. I love that. So, one more time, what do you want to proudly tell our listeners today? Because I think you deserve to say it twice.
Again, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present with your child as
Absolutely.
much as you possibly can. And this mama is nailing it.
Nailing it. I love it. Jules has brought an amazing spin to the show today, and I'm just here for all of it. If you like this episode and you want to hear more real personal parenting stories like Jules, make sure you subscribe to my social media at Nailed It Motherhood Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform so that you never, ever, ever miss an amazing episode like today. We also have a website that you can visit, and that is naileditmotherhoodpodcast.com, your one stop shop for all things Nailed It Motherhood, including our brand new Nailed It Motherhood shop, where you can grab journals, merch, and more to support your parenting journey. Listeners, we welcome your questions, your comments, and your ideas, and we definitely hope to keep this conversation going. Until next time, keep on doing what it is you do. Smooches.